A person was involved in a life-threatening car accident and lost the ability to support himself for an extended period. I believe this happened because he did not repay someone for something he owed. Possibly in my case, due to his weakened immune system, this person was interested in my herbal blends. After receiving a sample, however, he disappeared, despite having agreed to provide feedback. About 2 weeks after I gave him the sample, I found myself thinking that his behavior had been quite disrespectful. And then some time later, he was hit by a car. This raises the question of whether I should help him financially or whether he should bear the consequences on his own. Your conclusion here doesn't really fit. Why should you be supporting him financially? And what kind of punishment could possibly come from you? You're not the one punishing him. If there is any punishment, it comes from his own guides, the force that leads him, or simply what you might call his destiny. If his actions conflict with the underlying order of this world, for example, through his interaction with you, then by his behavior, he has violated your dignity, and that is something that is important for you. Your fate, your gods, or the program that governs your existence may recognize his actions as a violation of your rights and an affront to your dignity. If that is the case, it is entirely possible that your standing is sufficient to call for redress. And that is how satisfaction is granted. You receive compensation and the other person incurs the loss. It is also possible that through his actions he offended someone else, someone far more powerful than you. What happened in your life may simply have been one consequence of that. Your conclusion is correct. A person who behaves this way toward one person will most likely behave the same way toward others. You never know whom you might offend. A person who habitually behaves this way usually loses their intuitive connection to the world. The first time he gets away with it, then the second, then the third time. No one holds him accountable. The fourth time, no one puts him in his place. And by the fifth, he no longer knows any boundary. To him, everyone is the same. That's called arrogance. That kind of arrogance can eventually backfire. Sooner or later, you step on the wrong person's toes. In other words, you step on the toes of someone you should never have crossed, but he did. As a result, he ended up losing his own toes, or at the very least, he was forced to stay off them while he healed. It's a good time to stop and think about life. That's usually what happens to people like that. You should simply take note of what happened. I see no reason to provide financial assistance to someone who violates other people's rights. Unless, of course, you are a deeply devout Christian who believes it is right to show compassion to everyone in need, because that is what God's commandments require. If not, then everyone receives what they deserve. You are neither his mother, nor his father, nor his guardian. He is not your responsibility, and you owe him nothing. If that is the case, then any help you give such a person will always come at the expense of your own rights. In other words, if you believe you are obligated to help this person, you are lowering yourself to their level. That is, it's like the example of the berserker and the slave, isn't it? In other words, by giving your own resources to such a person, you lower yourself to their level or even below it. Never do that. Remember this. Help should be given only to those in whom you have complete confidence, or to those who are your responsibility. Those you have a duty to care for, your children, your parents, and anyone to whom you have sworn an oath of loyalty.